Welcome to the big city of Waterside, where it's raining again. I'm starting to think maybe Colossal Order's gone a little bit over the top with the weather. As I say, it's another wet day, and what we'll do is have a quick resume. We're now in the big city of Waterside. In the last part, we unlocked another tile, crematoriums, and water treatment. I think this population level represents a kind of key milestone when you're building a city, because effectively we've now reached a point where all the main features that need to develop the city have been unlocked, and now it's time to kind of take control of the city. We're no longer in survival mode being driven by what the RCI meter wants. Now we're going to start laying the city out, manipulating it, laying out the structures that actually will take us towards our goal, which is 250,000 people and all the distinct buildings. So that's the first step. Now I'm not going to be putting down any crematoriums at the moment, purely and simply because if we come here, it's always hard to find them, but there's actually buildings in here. There it says there, fill 5 instances of a cemetery to get a theatre. I think there's another one here as well, 7 instances of a cemetery. So we've got to have 7 full cemeteries going, but what we're going to start with first is kind of cleaning up this water supply system now. I mean, we need to kind of get it. It's unlikely, if I click here, that I'm going to come down to this map level here, purely and simply because, well, I might do eventually, but I think the coming down to here to lay in the water supply will be good enough. So I think we'll just keep this city running forward while I'm actually doing this. And what we're going to do is drop 2 water treatment plants down here. And join them up. And I think what we're going to do is, I'm going to pause the game. Actually, I should have paused it because I want to do it. And what I'm going to do is bring these water pumps right over here, purely and simply because I can get them really close side by side, or as close together as possible, because I want this to be a tourist leisure area, and I don't really want water pumps and that over here. They will kind of get in the way of the aesthetic of layout. And what we're going to do is kind of just lay in pumps here, and I think it's, so we've got the money for it now, so I think we can just grid over the this whole area like this. I think that'd be good enough. And obviously we're going to demolish these because don't really want them. I probably will. I know I can leave this water pipe here, but I like, it's one area where I do like things to look good, is the actual, I'll just do it this way, just hold the button down and you can just right click down what we're going to need to do is we reactivate things, and again I think we're kind of just run a power line down here and maybe just come and I think we can just unpause the game. I think we can say this is all part of the process of preparing for the expansion of the city. Get rid of these, and what we can do now is see what we can do about the wind farm. This might not be much use for anything, so I think what we can do is pick these up. See if we can get these kind of stick them up on this peak here, where they shouldn't cause any major problems. I mean, again, we can always move them later on, and I think the cities, oops a daisy, got an electricity availability issue. Garbage is, we can get rid of that now. Maybe start emptying that one. We've got some power issues, which, well, we got full capacity, so it says we've got a water availability issue, so maybe let's just drop another one of these in, I think. Because of course, if you come to here, these have 160,000, these 120, so the water treatment plants actually process more than sewage than the originals, so let's see if we can find out what's causing the 13 weeks. You've got to watch these power stations in the sense that if they run out of fuel supply, oops, looks like we've got no power here. I'm sure I connected these up. Oh well. Maybe that might explain why we've got a water shortage. It will now go through the roof. But I think we can live with that. So we've now got this in position. The city's growing. You can see we've got lots of demand for industrial. We're in the dark again as usual. Now, part of me, there's a railway line in here somewhere. There it is. Part of me says, oh, it's time to keep expanding out there. I think I will expand a little bit. Just and we'll just drop a little bit more industry here, just to keep the process of moving the industry from, I think we can probably come out here, just connect in there a bit, and we can just fill in this area here. I think we're now at a point where I don't think we need to worry about going up to the edge, and so we can Just kind of zoning that edge there. Just make we must have water coverage. Yep. So we can just keep this edging along quite nicely. And we've got a little bit more demand for commercial. Now we've got to start thinking about where we're going to have a transport centre. So I think at the moment don't want to come too far out this way, so I think what we're going to do is just put some high density residential, commercial, not residential, some high density commercial in there. Got a little bit of residential increasing again, so I think we're going to just zone in a bit more here. I think maybe we're actually just drop a sauna in, because this is one of the new kind of health buildings, and actually no, we seem to have a couple of them in here, so let's maybe drop a small park in there, maybe a bit short on here, so and there, just to keep this area growing up. Just check the education. Elementary schools getting a bit low, so maybe it's time to get an elementary school in. High school's very bad, so there's a high school there, so let's can't get a high school in there. There's a taxi rank there. I think we'll just drop a high school in there, because I want the education level to improve, so that should now, and of course part of the process of so the city's growing along quite nicely, and so we're back in daylight, so I think it's time now to think a little bit about, you know, I'm just going to pause the game so we've got plenty of daylight to talk about. We built this kind of road up here, maybe it's time to think about, do we put a cargo station in here? So but what I'm going to do first is, because I want this to be a kind of industrial area here, up in this corner, with maybe crossing over the road. So I think we're just going to, I think upgrading this would be quite useful. Since that's too steep, already occupied, so I'm just going to upgrade that, kind of upgrade this a bit. Now I'd like to have some kind of train station up here with maybe a kind of entrance in here. So, but what I'd like is a kind of a one-way system. I've got this road here. It's let's take a chance. I'm going to put a two-way road in, because it shouldn't create. No. I think if we take that out, that would create. No, don't like that. Just take that out. Let's put see if we can. That's going to create a little bit of a complex junction there, which is I'm not convinced about, to be honest. And I think I want a kind of a one-way system here. I think maybe let's actually try like that. I mean, if it doesn't work, I can always kind of remove it and it's a bit close. Maybe we'll just go for it there like that. Just that's that direction. Kind of making a little bit of a hash up of this, but I think it will work. Maybe we'll just come out here. Just kind of make a circuit like that. Get a little bit of a curve in here, like that. Oh, that should work. We've now got a station in here. I don't really want to kind of build up an area. I think what we will do though is come out here and connect that through, as that will create a link for this industrial area here, and maybe we can kind of create a kind of a overshoot two-way road here. I think this might be turning into a little bit of a mess. Obviously we've got to lay in some water supplies and a bit of power. I think maybe we can just strike off there. I think the next, this is a thought actually. Let's kind of come back this way. Again, if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. So I think maybe I say we'll just pause the game again. Don't want that. I think if we pick this power station up, just drop it here, and the other one. Got us another power station here. I think this can come up. Actually, you can just sit alongside. So we've now got just connecting them, and that will remove some quite major pollution resources away from this area. So, oops, that was the autosave just going through. We'll just have to keep an eye on this area, and I think we're just zoning some industrial here, just to keep this going. And hopefully the traffic won't get too bad here. So I'm not going to build anything else here except for maybe utility buildings. Let's have a quick check to see. Got fire station here. How about a police station? Got no police station. So maybe we'll drop a police station in there. And perversely, the industrial likes a health clinic, so maybe we'll just put a health clinic here. That will kind of improve these buildings and upgrade them. So, and hopefully what will happen is that any goods that, like imports, because if you look at the way the way the train goes, you've actually got these delivery trucks which can deliver exports, but they can also bring in imports besides raw materials. You can see a lot of raw materials going in there. Kind of part of me, I think, would like to kind of put in and so that anything going out of the city will come down here, anything from here will go that way. I think that might work. Yeah, that's kind of a gives an improved flow, I think. Actually, is there any maybe that might be better. And we'll take out that. So any traffic coming down here will come through here, and that is to be just like a relief road in case anything comes along here. I think that might keep the traffic moving. Talking of traffic, we're now getting to a point where we need to start with a little bit of TLC. I think we've got an issue there, probably with traffic, delivery traffic taking a shortcut through here. So let's have a look at our regions. Yeah, got this problem here. So what I'm going to do is just bring this area down here. Maybe we'll just come down as far as here and bring this one in here. Yeah, this road being very, very busy is due to the fact that it's been used as a rat run through here to get over here, which is making this area busy. So I think if we close that off and make it only for residents in these two areas, actually I think maybe we can probably actually just kind of come up here. That will allow people to get into here, but at the same time, it looks like we've got a garbage problem. So is it due to probably because we're running low on there? So I think what we'll do is we'll drop another incinerator in there. Now, I'm not too worried about the garbage as such, problems, issues as such now, because I think we've got to have, there's 5 instances, one of these that says that we have to have a garbage problem in order to build it. Oh, got the London Eye, constructed 2 instances of an airport. Got a cinema here, which has been unlocked. We'll see if we can get that in somewhere. Yeah, some of these is driving range, tourist specialisation. Construct an international airport. Construct a fishing pier. Well, we'll be doing that quite soon. For instances of cemetery. Average citizen health under 20%. That could be a challenge. We might have to. 10th is residential. yeah, average garbage piling up per building 25. So there's going to be a situation in the future where we're going to have to engineer some garbage problems. Now, looks like we've got fog. I think that's fog. It's difficult to say. It'd be nice if they kind of gave some kind of indicator. Now, one of the aspects of fog is that the power consumption, the wind speed drops. I think I've been told that, and that will affect the capabilities of the city. Now, what I want to do next is, I think it's time to start laying in some infrastructure. So what we're going to do here, actually, before we do that, let's just check the natural resources. We've got a little bit of ore there, which could be useful. So maybe we need to kind of expand this way a little bit with the industry and mine that out. Most of the ore and oil is up there. We've got a patch of oil here as well, but that's actually off the map, so that might be for a future. But we've got a little bit of ore here, so, and we've got loads of money to spend. So I think what we're going to do is build a let's mine the ore out first. I think that'd be the best thing to do. And I think what we're going to do is come out here, because the ore resources won't last that long. And I've built a one-way street, and I don't want a one-way street. So I think what we're going to do is, make this a bit bigger. I think we're just going to make this corner. I think that will cover the. No, it comes back that way a little bit, so I think maybe we'll just come this way. We'll mark it. I think that's an ore specialisation, and what we're going to do is just probably split this in half. This is just a, you can say a kind of a temporary industry in area, because we need to be able to, we've got to mine minerals as another distinct building, so just gonna drop that in there. Got no water, so just gonna have to, we'll just fill that little gap in there. And of course we can't, we can go right to the edge, so we'll just come all the way down here, lay in the water supply, and that will let us mine out this area here. I think maybe we can kind of come out a bit further, and then once it's all finished, we can then reclaim this area for other purposes. So I think that'll look good. I think actually then we've come up this far. Let's actually put a bit more forestry in. I will be keeping the forestry in this area. So I think don't like that. I must admit, I do like my industrial areas to be a little bit symmetrical. So I'm just gonna, this is probably a little bit too big, so we're just gonna, I think, I'm just gonna zone this in and let it grow and look after itself in this kind of short term. That will give us a little bit more forestry up here with forestry goods. In fact, let's kind of, this is where you can kind of, how can you say, manage. Maybe if we just bring the forestry down here, we can maybe keep this as a forestry area. Maybe once Holly Park's finished, we can, this could be our forestry production area, is probably the best way to describe it. So keep an eye on the time. I've kind of rambled on long enough now for this, and I haven't done what I actually wanted to do, but I think you guys might be getting an idea now of that this will become a kind of local forestry area. This will be one of my main heavy industry areas. We've got a bit more demand for residential. This will probably stay one of my core, and it will become high density, because obviously we're going to get to 250,000. We're going to need to really start to concentrate on developing these areas up, and to say maybe we can de-zone a bit more of this area, and well, put some low density in here, and I'll just zone it all in here. I think, yep. So if you imagine, we will be, actually let's start the macro kind of management process. I think we can now kind of come up to here. The industry can move north or west, I think, because the map's actually meant to be this way round. And actually let's change some of these areas. Maybe we'll have an area of high density in the middle, and again we'll just get back to zoning Valley Park. That's Oriental Square, Valley Park here. I think we can put in a few policies. I haven't really touched on policies, so maybe this is a good round off for the end of the part. And I think what we're going to do here is, I think we've got get some power, water, and some recycling in here. I'm not sure whether it actually flips when you do that. So, oh, that's recycling. And I think this have some water, smoke, recycling there. Not sure how this will affect the consumption of energy, because I'm not sure how the temperatures will be affecting the city. And we've got electric power issues. I think maybe, well, just drop. We're going to need to sort these wind turbines out as well. It's not particularly brilliant. Maybe we can put some down here, right on the edge of the map. Maybe we can move some of these down. Actually, that could be a good idea. Again, I think I'll do that off camera. I'll move these wind turbines down here. You can see the pollution's kind of cleaned there, but it looks almost, I'm sure, it's almost like they've put pollution back into this area. Interesting. So, but I think I've kind of rambled on long enough. I might have to edit out a couple of pieces and with the city, but you've got the idea now where the city's kind of growing up here. We've got this new kind of more probably environmentally friendly industry coming in. We've now got the, just let it run for a moment. You see we've got the All Corporation here. This won't last that long because unless they've buffed the resources in the new patch, resources will probably run out pretty quickly. So there, traffic's flowing here quite nicely. We've got plenty of goods coming in. I think we can just leave that bit there. We've got the power stations here, power row, coming along quite nicely. Maybe that's where we'll have our nuclear power station, because of course we've got to build a nuclear power station to fulfill the requirements. And that's where we're going to leave it, guys. In the next part we're going to be looking at starting to build this tourist commercial area here. Maybe we'll have tourists down here. Oh, I think we'll have commercial tourists there, maybe a little bit more residential down here, and then we're going to kind of come out this way. Maybe we'll have a kind of new residential type town here coming out this way. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, but we're going to lose, we'll need to come out here, there. We definitely need to come up to this tile to build the dam. So this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Like and subscribe, and until the next time, enjoy your gaming.